Hi guys, it's Soy Sweet 99 and I'm coming to you today. As you can see by the title of the video, this is my thoracic spinal fusion update. It's been about 2 years and 9 months, about 9 months. I had my thoracic spinal fusion, posterior thoracic spinal fusion. You guys can go, I'll put a link to my original video that I did about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago. I had posterior thoracic spinal fusion on December 12, 2017. And in that original video, I discussed why I had to have the surgery. Basically what happened was that I went paralyzed. It was something that I could feel happen over a 3-week period of time. My legs were giving out on me until the moment of December 10th, 2017, where I fell in my apartment and I became completely paralyzed. And it was the most scariest experience that I've ever been through in my entire life. I fell out in my kitchen. I got up, I was doing some work on my laptop, and I fell out in my kitchen and literally collapsed and had like a seizure or attack where my arm was jerking up and down. My head was spinning like back and forth like this. And it was just the craziest experience of my life. If you go to the other video, I don't want to do too much explaining of it in this video, but if you look at my other video, you'll see exactly why that happened to me. But what happened was I had from T7 to T8, I had a disc herniation that was there for a couple of years, but the disc herniation actually ended up getting bigger. I went on a trip to Panama to visit my family, and I did a little bit of traveling, and I guess I was sitting for long periods is what the doctor said may have caused it. And when I came back to the United States, I just kept feeling this funny sensation in my legs, and I kept going to the emergency room repeatedly. And I was mentioning, I feel like I'm going paralyzed. None of the doctors believed me until I finally went paralyzed, and the ambulance had to come and literally bust my door down and put me in a hospital where they did a series of MRIs, and I had cervical disc herniations that didn't bother me too much, and lumbar herniations. These were all caused by previous car accidents where I was rear-ended. So since the surgery, and maybe in my other video, I probably explained in there that with the surgery, it was horrific. When I came home, it was a horrible experience. Hold on, let me close this door so you guys could hear me a little more. It was a horrible experience when I got home. So when I got home, I was in a lot of pain. Anyone that's about to go through spinal fusion, I must tell you that you should have help. I will insert pictures of what my scar looks like now and what it looked like before. My scar actually healed very well. It's in my mid-back. I was left with damage to the thoracic spinal nerves. So the nerves that wrap from my back where my incision is to right here underneath my breast area, those nerves are basically like dead. And I don't feel any sensation at all in that area. All on my left side, it was more damaged than the right. That was in the beginning. After surgery, I was told that the nerves will regenerate, but they haven't. And it's almost 3 years. December 12th this year, 2020, will make 3 years since my surgery. I just started walking on my own without the assistance of a cane or a walker about 4 months ago. And I sometimes, time to time, use my walker and things still. But I would say that thoracic spinal fusion is probably the worst spinal fusion to have because of the fact that it's in your thoracic area where your lungs are, where your heart is, and you will, I don't know, I can't say for everyone, but what happened with me was I experienced symptoms afterwards that were similar to a heart attack because I was left with what's called intercostal neuralgia. So with intercostal neuralgia, what happens is it's a really scary experience because you feel nerve pain that wraps around your ribs And another thing, like right now I'm sitting on a chair, but the chair doesn't have a back to it, so I can't sit too long. I've been recording this video now for about 5 minutes. So usually after about 10 minutes of sitting on something without back support, I get intense pain in the thoracic area. My muscles in the back and everything become extremely, extremely sore. I used to type a lot at work. So when it comes to my arms being in an upper position like this, if it's left like that too long, like on a keyboard, it just feels like someone's taking a lighter to my back and just burning it really, really hard. So I do have herniations now above and below my fusion. I have not had a recent MRI, so I'm pretty sure that I have new herniations. Sometimes the intercostal pain feels like pressure. And the fact that I do have instrument, you know, I have a titanium rods and screws, 4 rods and 2 screws. So what I sometimes feel is like before it's about to rain, I feel intense pain and pressure in my back and my chest area, and it goes all the way down my left leg. My left side was damaged more than the right. And I have here with me the thoracolumbar brace that the doctor gave me when I was in the hospital. I do wear this sometimes, especially if I'm going to do work on a computer. And the brace kind of just goes around my body like this. And I kind of tighten it up like that. And then it has like a strap. And then I put it on like this. So like, especially right now with the brace on, I feel a lot more comfortable because I have support for my back. Prior to my spinal fusion, I did not have to use any of these things. I didn't have pain in my back. So my symptoms weren't pain. It was just a 3-week period before the surgery that I just felt like I couldn't walk until I became paralyzed. And like I said, there's 2 videos on my channel, Soy Sweet 99. If you go to my channel, you can look. There's one that the hospital who performed my surgery that they did on my back, on my spine, and there's one that I did explaining what I went through. I've been on a lot of medication since surgery, lots of painkillers. I was on opioids for a while, but I don't tolerate them too well. I am on gabapentin. I was on not Lyrica, Cymbalta for a while, which worked, but with each of them you kind of have to switch up, because the thing is that with Cymbalta and Lyrica, those are basically medications that they use to help with nerve pain. And the gabapentin does help, but at times it's like you have to continuously up the dosage. And sometimes my doctor will take me off of it and then put me back on and things like that. I was in physical therapy for about 2 years. I was never able to return to work. So this is a lengthy process that I would let everyone know that if you're considering this procedure, there aren't a lot of videos on YouTube on thoracic spinal fusion because it's very rare. Most people usually damage the lower back, like the lumbar spine or the cervical. But the thoracic spine is an area that if you get it operated on, you have to be careful, because after I was left, like last year, I had a little mild asthma problem. So I was on an inhaler for a while because like with my lungs and breathing and things like that, I noticed that I get short of breath. It's hard for me to climb stairs. So that was the number one sign that I noticed, that I wasn't able to go up and down stairs. And I was working in a prison and we had a lot of stairs. And that was the number one thing. I would try to go up the stairs and I would fall, like, you know, my leg, I couldn't even pull my own body up. So even after surgery, even though I had restoration of my leg movement, I still had problems with going upstairs. I was literally so weak. So that's one thing I can say, that if you get this surgery, you will be weak for a long time, for a while. The doctors kept saying, oh, you're young, you'll be better. They even wanted me to go back to work 2 weeks later, which I thought was crazy. I probably would have died. But I would say that I am thankful that I'm walking and everything now. But it is something that if I would probably have redid everything, I know that they wanted to do it because I was in the hospital and I was not able to walk at all. So I was in a wheelchair I had diapers, everything, like, you know, on a bedpan, and I had no use of my legs at all until they performed my thoracic spinal fusion. So it got to the point that I had to go in the hospital. So a lot of people always ask me like, oh, I have back pain, should I get spinal fusion? And I usually tell them, if you're going to have fusion, I'm not saying to wait till you get paralyzed, but if your pain is that severe and you feel like you need it, have it. But if there's other options, get other options, because sometimes I wish that I did do something else instead of doing fusion. But I feel like maybe my doctor felt like at that point that was the only thing, you know, that he could do but I did have restoration of the movement in my legs. I was able to lift my leg up, but I've had a very, very painful recovery. And I still need this brace. Without the brace, I don't know what I would do. And again, like I said, I'm on med still and everything. And my health has been, I've been feeling a little bit better, but I feel like when my pain is the worst is usually like in the winter when it's going to rain. Extreme humidity bothers me. So if it's really, really humid outside, I'm extremely in a lot of pain. And if it's cold, like in the wintertime, if it's gonna snow, if there's gonna be a lot of rain out, my body just feels like just terrible, and my knees give out on me and everything. So I feel like once you have fusion in one part of your spine, the rest of your spine compensates. So I have a lot of sacroiliac joint pain. I have sciatica. I have traveling pain that goes up to my neck. Like I said, see, it's 11 minutes and 30 seconds right now. And if I don't put this back brace on, I can't sit up straight for too long a period of time. But, I wanted to just update you guys on how I've been since the fusion. So those are the things that I've been going through since I've had spinal fusion. And I'm just doing this as a short update for those of you who've requested it to see what I'm doing, what I'm like now. So this is my 2 year and 9 month and 9 month and a half mark. And I'm almost 3 years into spinal fusion, and I still have complications after the surgery. I am in worse pain than I was before the surgery, but I'm able to walk now. So before the surgery, I was paralyzed. You know, I became paralyzed within a 3-week period of time until I couldn't walk at all. What I was told by my doctor is that the night that I became paralyzed, I was working on my laptop for 2 hours, and he said that because my back was hunched over like this on the laptop, that what happened was my spinal cord, the signal that was going through my spinal cord, was being blocked. So basically what that meant is that when I got up to turn the lights off that night, what happened is the signal just went crazy. So I guess it went into my arms. Maybe once my legs went out, the nerves, you know, nerves are kind of like a light switch. You turn it off and off. So the signal traveled to my arms, my legs, whatever. And my body just went nuts, you know. So I stayed in the hospital after surgery for probably 2 days later. If you are getting the surgery, you should come home with someone. You should have help from someone. And I would just say, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please put it in the comments below and I'll answer any questions that you guys have. I will be providing another update pretty soon, going into a little bit more detail as to how I am and how I complete my daily task and what things that I do to help out myself. Grocery shopping is hard. I don't really lift anything heavy. I need assistance with a lot of things, but there are some things I can do now, like I can put my shoes on by myself. I had a hard time with that for a long time. The amount of pressure I had, strength I had in my legs was very limited. So I'll be back to you guys soon with another updated video about my condition. And again, if you have any questions, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be providing some more updates for you guys so you can hear a little bit more about what's going on in my life. And I'll show you exactly how I complete a lot of my daily tasks. Thank you.